What we're doing here is drilling the culmination of 3 years of work in terms of the targets we've developed. We've done about 3 full field seasons of geophysics, geological work, sampling and mapping to build up to this point, and recently did a financing to finance us with 25 million Canadian dollars in the bank. We're armed to the teeth, ready to go and do this drilling campaign.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV. Today I'm here at 1-to-1 Mining Investment Dubai, and I'm here with Allen Sabet, Chief Executive Officer and Director at Mogotes Metals. So thanks so much for joining us here today, Allen.
Thanks, Amy.
And so let's just kick off with an overview of the company and your key focus areas.
Okay, our company is focused on exploration for copper and gold in our project called the Filo Sur Project. We are exploring in probably one of the best places in the world to look for copper and gold. It's next to the biggest copper discovery of the last 30 years. That's right next to us. That's called Filo del Sol. And if it was just one, that would already be an exceptional place to be exploring. But right next to Filo del Sol is another world-class discovery that's emerging. That's called Lunahuasi. You know, together those two are valued at about 9 billion Canadian dollars. And we're the third leg of that district. We're directly adjacent to Filo del Sol. And we're, about to start, actually have started drilling and looking to make a discovery of our own. Okay,
excellent. And so let's look at your project in more depth. Can you walk us through some of the highlights of your current program?
Sure. We just started drilling. We're going to do about a 5,000 meter drilling campaign in our first phase, and we'll have the ability to accelerate that drilling and even do more than the 5,000 if it warrants to do so. We're taking, as always, a systematic and kind of phased approach to it. What we're doing here is drilling the culmination of 3 years of work in terms of the targets we've developed. We've done about 3 full field seasons of geophysics, geological work, sampling and mapping to build up to this point, and recently did a financing to finance us with 25 million Canadian dollars in the bank. We're armed to the teeth, ready to go and do this drilling campaign. And any one of the targets we've developed could eventuate to a discovery, and we hope that that's the case. And we're very excited and enthusiastic about the campaign because of all the homework we've done here and the build up to it.
Okay, excellent. And so you already talked about kind of the neighboring projects, but can you talk a little bit about the resource potential for this project, for both precious and base metals, as you mentioned?
Yeah, it's a super key point there because the big major mining companies have a very small universe of potential productive mines that they can acquire or build or develop. They need to reach the criteria of being tier 1 scale and be able to be mined for decades. And the number of places that they can do that are limited to a handful at the very top of the pyramid of the quality of assets and size of assets. And the Vicuña district, which is where we are, and we're a key part of it, in our opinion, is one of those places now where BHP and Lundin Mining have bought this big company next to us, and where if they continue to develop it, it will be substantial. The resource that they announced in May had something in the lines of 65-70 million ounces of gold in it, 35 million tons of copper, I believe, and over 1 billion ounces of silver. So, mind-bogglingly large numbers in copper, gold, and even in silver. And that's only going to grow. They mentioned the resource is open to the south, which is in our direction. It's open at depth, open to the east and to the west. And so the resource potential is immense at our neighbors. But again, the property line that distinguishes our neighbors from us is only a line in the legal offices.
On the maps.
It's not a line in geology terms. So we hope that kind of mineralization that occurs at Lunahuasi at Filo can continue into our project and be part of what we're looking to discover here.
Okay, excellent. And so, can you talk about your exploration strategy moving forward? Are there specific areas or targets within your project that could have the most significant potential upside?
Yeah, it's difficult to say which ones will have the most upside. So, we'll know after the fact. Yeah. Most exploration companies, they'll make their discovery and they kind of backtell the story of how they made that discovery. Really, what we have in exploration is a systematic approach of gathering information, ranking targets through systematic scientific work, which is what we've done to date. We have a portfolio of targets now, about 12. we're going to focus on 6 of them this season. We'll have another 6 that we're working on to develop for the next season of work. Out of those 6 that we're drilling, or the universe of 6 that we're drilling this season, if any of them ends up becoming a significant discovery, we'll obviously accelerate on those. But the great thing here is that we have a portfolio of targets. So we're less of a one-trick pony and more of a multiple bites at the cherry type company here. So we have some really good targets in the portfolio that we'll slowly and systematically explore and drill.
Okay, excellent. And so as you kind of progress the development of this project, what are some of the key catalysts that investors should be paying attention to?
So the time being, we've just launched the most exciting exploration program in the company's existence because of the volume of drilling we're going to be doing and the advancement of a number of our targets. So it's really about the drilling from here. As I said, we've just started. So what we can look out for in the coming months, running from January all the way through to May, is a stream of updates or news as we deem fit to release on the drilling that we're doing. That's the key for the next 6 months for us.
Okay, excellent. Well, we'll definitely have to keep track of how things are progressing
at
the project. So, Allen, I want to thank you for joining us here today at the Assay.
Thanks for having me. And as usual, thanks, Amy.